Good evening, crypto miners. Good evening, Avalanche people, and everyone tuning in today. As I said, we have Avalanche here with us today. That's going to be very exciting to hear more about their news and what's happening. So, I don't know who's coming from the team. I haven't been told, but please, if you are from Avalanche in here and are here to talk with me, please ask to speak so I can see that and unmute you. Thank you. And people, bring all your friends. Go grab at least one more person. Let's have as many as we can in here today. And retweet. Oh, I've been told we have one here. Let's see. Matt from Avalanche is here. I don't see your main account anywhere yet.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Let's see if we can hear from Matt.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello Matt. Welcome.
Uh, How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? Looks
Doing
cold.
well. Yeah, I live in Colorado, so it's a little chilly here at times. I like to ski and hike and whatnot, though, so I don't mind the cold too much. You kind of get used to it when living here.
That's great. Yeah, I live in Sweden, so I know we have some snow as well. Not anymore where I live, but yeah, all winter long. Cool. Are you going to be the only one, or do we have some more from the team?
I might be the only one. There could be one or two more joining eventually, but a lot of our team is actually at GDC, the gaming conference going on in San Francisco right now. So it
Ah, I
might just
see.
be me, unfortunately. But hopefully I can answer all your guys' questions if you have any.
Yeah, that's more than enough, I guess. Perfect. Thank you for taking time from that conference and come to us instead here at Crypto Miners. We appreciate that. So yes, I told everyone to bring a friend. Let's see if we can have even more people in here, and this will be recorded so people can listen in afterwards anyway. And as you know, my name is Mary. I will then try to be your host today. And we have Matt here from Avalanche, and Matt is gonna start to introduce himself because I'm not really sure what you do at Avalanche, Matt. So please go ahead, tell us.
Yeah, so my name is Matt Schmenk. I am on the business development team here at Avalabs. I've been here for a little over a year now, and originally started focused primarily on DeFi and institutional and capital markets, but have since kind of expanded my role to leading external data efforts, both from an integrations and reporting standpoint, as well as helping with tooling, infra, and security projects and teams quite a bit within our ecosystem. And so kind of transformed to being more of a generalist the past year or so.
Oh, did you stop there or did we lose you?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was gonna
Okay.
just follow up. Yeah, I live in Colorado, and in my free time enjoy hiking and skiing. And um, I'm originally from Ohio, so I watch quite a bit of Ohio sports, both at the professional but also the college level. And yeah, like I said, in my free time, enjoy hiking, skiing. I used to be a gamer, but not so much anymore. Just since I started working in crypto full time, I just haven't had as much time as I used to. But yeah, I started off in traditional finance for about a year and a half to 2 years directly at an undergrad, and I'm on level three of the CFA and have a little bit of programming experience as well.
Great. So, yeah, full time in crypto could mean more than 8 hours a day, right?
Yeah, especially when you're working with people from all over the world. So.
Yeah, that's true. There's 24/7 working then. No, 9 to 5. Yeah, and when did you start with crypto, Matt? Did you say that? How long have you been? 1 year in Avalanche, but before that?
Yeah, so before that, I kind of found crypto probably early 2021 or late 2020, and it started off kind of the normie route where found Bitcoin, started listening to like podcasts and YouTube videos and everything. And then once I found out that you could actually permissionlessly kind of transact in terms of value on blockchains through like Ethereum or other smart contract platforms, I went on chain, got a MetaMask wallet, and from then on out, I kind of became infatuated and spent most of my time just learning about various protocols, how they work, reading white papers, kind of consuming as much information as I could possible. And it's interesting. That's kind of what led me to Avalanche. I guess my first Avalanche experience was when Avalanche Rush was announced. So the kind of wide mining, ecosystem liquidity mining program. Sorry. Um, and through that, when it was announced, I bridged over my funds and immediately noticed the great user experience, both from the bridge, but also from the chain. And it was just the most highly performant EVM chain I've ever used. And from there, I was like, all right, time to learn about the tech behind this and why it's such a great user experience. And read the Avalanche white paper, watched videos upon it, and how it was founded by a professor out of Cornell and some of his PhD students. And eventually, it kind of became my home chain, and that led to interactions with the Avalabs team. And I was spending so much of my time learning about crypto and using crypto that I was like, all right, it's time to transition to a full-time job. And because I already had the relationships here at Avalabs, it made applying and kind of getting a first round interview decently easy. And from there, I really hit it off with the team and truly believed in the tech for the future of kind of scaling blockchain technology. And here I am today.
That's great. Great story. Thank you, Matt. And how big is the team then now? The core team or yeah, those who work full time maybe.
Yeah, so I would say between like 200 and 300 people generally. Don't know the
Hmm.
exact number at this point in time, but yeah, it's grown decently well over the past year since I joined. And I can say that it's kind of the company culture is still relatively startup in nature, meaning you can make like fast decisions and um, really kind of push the boundaries versus corporate America, which is nice. But yeah, it's a great company to work for and a great. I mean, I truly believe in our technology, so.
Hmm. Where is it based?
Yeah, so we have an in-person office in the New York City area, but we're actually pretty distributed around the world. So
Mm.
I'd say probably 50 to 60% of the people live in the US or North America, and then the rest of the Avalabs employees live outside the US, just kind of scattered throughout the world.
Yeah, everywhere. All right, cool. So if you met someone who doesn't really know much about maybe let's say they know about crypto because everyone in here knows a little bit about crypto, but not about Avalanche. How would you explain that pretty simple to them? What is Avalanche?
Yeah, I would say at the lowest level, it's the most highly performant consensus mechanism, and that's how it kind of started. So first came classical consensus, then came Nakamoto when Bitcoin was founded, and then Avalanche is actually the third novel consensus mechanism ever found, and it uses subsampling around along with polling to achieve sub-second finality, but also hopefully being relatively infinite and number of validators you could have within the system without degraded performance. And so, from that highly innovative consensus mechanism, we built a network of interconnected blockchains. And so, that's generally how I describe Avalanche. Most people like to say, oh, like Avalanche is just another L1, but generally, I say Avalanche is actually a network of interconnected blockchains. And so why I say that is just because of the notion of subnets. And as along with the primary network, essentially how we plan to scale is horizontally using a native messaging layer called Avalanche Warp Messaging, as well as highly performant VMs, hopefully custom VMs in the not so distant future to scale to like the next million plus users. So that's generally how I would describe Avalanche to someone that didn't know about it. Most people are familiar with the contract chain or the C chain, and that's an instance of EVM that generally is known for DeFi. And I think most people's first interactions with the C chain were through Avalanche Rush, and when those Ethereum blue chips came over, in terms of DeFi, such as Aave, Curve, etc. But now we have our own native innovative ecosystem in terms of DeFi, NFTs, gaming, world assets, institutional focus, like kind of every vertical of at least the application layer is covered at this point in time within the Avalanche ecosystem.
And what do you specifically turn to some area that you're better than others to execute, or how can I say that? I mean, what kind of projects prefers to build on Avalanche at the moment? Maybe it's a better question.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think at this point in time, we do just about everything pretty well, and that's kind of our focus to not just appeal to the degens, but to the institutions, to the gamers, to the like artists, really whoever wants to get involved within blockchain technology and crypto, we want to appeal to. So honestly, like I said, I think it originally started with DeFi, but now it's kind of expanded to hopefully rounding out just about every area in terms of the application layer. So, like I said, started with DeFi. Then I think a lot of people thought of us as kind of a gaming network in terms of games could launch their own subnet, having their own native token, be the gas token, add another deflationary mechanic to their game, as well as a sovereign environment in which congestion will never be an issue. And then we saw kind of an institutional focus as well through subnets because of them being essentially a walled garden environment in which you could control the validator set in ensuring that it's fully compliant and no validators are on maybe like an OPEC sanction list, as well as there aren't nefarious actors within that subnet in terms of like an institutional subnet. And one of the institutional projects that I worked with pretty heavily was called Intane, which does asset-backed securities, both on the administration, but also the tokenization and market side on chain through a subnet in a walled garden environment. And that's what, like I touched upon, it's funny, our NFT scene this week has been absolutely popping off. A new NFT collection dropped called UPA. And I think our volumes have picked up substantially the past like week or two. I think it's like over a 500% increase or something crazy like that over the past 2 weeks. And so honestly,
Oh, that's insane.
yeah,
Hoopa.
honestly, yep, OOPA. So I believe actually there are a few audience members that have them as PFPs here. But um, yeah, right now I'd say we have a pretty well-rounded ecosystem. We have a collection of AAA games coming out, hopefully in the next 3 to 6 months, whether that be Ascenders, Shrapnel, Off the Grid by Gunzilla, Pulsar, etc. There are so many good, fun games coming out, as well as live games. We have DeFi Kingdoms, who's actually releasing um, their new combat platform here in the next. I think the announcement is actually going out in 15 minutes or so, or at least there'll be like a Twitter Spaces regarding that. So super exciting times ahead.
That's great. I mean, yeah, I've heard since because you were gonna be here a few months back, but then we postponed this space to today. And I mean, since then, lots of things has happened already in just a few months with Avalanche. I mean, you have partnered up with so many interesting things. Would you like to mention some of them, the partnership, the new ones that you have formed or made?
Yeah, so in terms of partnerships, you kind of hit the nail on the head. We've been super active the past, I don't know, 3 months or so. So I guess the most recent one was a collaboration with an app called TYB and Shopify to bring like a Web3 loyalty platform on chain. Another very large partnership was the TSM platform and bringing their Blitz platform to a subnet, which will hopefully allow um, in-game skins to be minted as NFTs on their subnet, as well as bringing many more gamers just within the Avalanche community. I think probably the largest partnership in name only was probably the partnership with Amazon and Amazon Web Services that caught a lot of people's eyes. And that was super exciting. I mean, I think we were their first kind of formal partnership with a blockchain, as well as we were featured on their startups page. And I think that startups page article actually was their most popular article ever on that startups page, which is kind of crazy for Amazon. But another partnership that was super exciting as well was Loco, which is the leading kind of gaming streaming platform within India, and they're building a subnet for their Local Legends platform to essentially almost bring like a fantasy sports almost simulator on chain in terms of people will be able to buy like NFT versions of streamers, and as those streamers do well either in the games or in terms of popularity on the local platform, will continue to appreciate or depreciate in value or win whatever fantasy games they're actually being played in. So that's super exciting, and I feel like
Yeah, I read they have around 500K active users per day. This local game streaming.
yeah, I mean they're huge, and
Pretty
if
cool.
you think about like the Indian population, I think they could easily grow to be bigger than Twitch
Yeah.
in the next like 3 or 4 years.
And you have some Asian partnerships as well. You're trying to grow very hard at the moment in Asia, right? Japan and somewhere else, I think too. Maybe it was India.
Yeah, it's well basically
South Korea.
yep, South Korea was the big one, but yeah, like you kind of touched upon all of Asia to be completely honest, and we've hired leads in terms of business development for
Mm-hmm.
to focus on those like specific countries in nature. So whether that's Japan, South Korea, India, United Emirates, etc. We have people now that live in those countries and are currently doing BD within those countries. And so I think you can see that through partnerships with like the Japanese gaming li gaming giant, sorry, called Gree or Tencent, in which Tencent Cloud wants to validate both the primary network and subnets, as well as we actually had a data partnership with Zangle, who's a South Korean data platform, both in terms of reporting but also dashboards. So definitely a heavy focus geographically on Asia, but also we try and be geographically dispersed, not neglecting any geographic region in the whole world.
Yeah, that's great. Do you have any users in Sweden? Do you know?
That's actually a good question. I'll have to figure out if we have any teams that are building with like Swedish devs or BD people. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, that's I actually don't think I interact with too many people in Sweden. I've interacted with a few people in Norway and whatnot, but yeah, now you have me curious. I'll
Okay.
have to go on Telegram
You
and
have to check it out.
exactly. Yeah.
Try and find those who are there.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the coin, the AVAX token or coin or what you call it, and how it's interacting within this ecosystem.
Yeah, so essentially, Avalanche is well, AVAX is the native gas token of the Avalanche ecosystem.
AVAX. Okay.
Yeah, internally we say AVAX, but most people externally says AVAX, and so, uh,
Okay, interesting.
yeah, and so I don't know. It's always been a debate around pronunciation, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters too much about how you pronounce the coin. But
No.
in terms of what it is at its simplest form, like I said, the native gas token of the Avalanche network, as well as a base unit of account within our ecosystem. Also, it's used in the creation of subnets. So to create a subnet, you also have to validate the primary network. And so as more subnets come to fruition and there's a proliferation of subnets, more and more AVAX will be locked up in the form of subnet creation on the P chain, as well as I think more subnets in the future that want to be relatively neutral in nature, that don't have a token or don't want a token, will just use AVAX as their native gas token. So TSM, for instance, will be using AVAX as their native gas token. It's just super exciting. And hopefully, as more subnets use AVAX as their native gas token, it becomes more deflationary in nature. And so I also think that in the not so distant future, there will also be more fees that are burnt in the form of the P chain, both in terms of like native infrastructure such as Avalanche warp messaging, but also in terms of like subnet creation or maintenance or whatnot. And so, yeah, at this point in time, I think we were almost deflationary for a bit during kind of the height of the bull market when there were a ton of gas fees being burnt on the C chain. But I think at this point in time, we're eventually going to at least become close to deflationary over the next few years as subnets really grow and proliferate in nature.
All right, nice. I mean, I always wonder when if I buy AVAX on some exchange or somewhere, which wallet I need to use to put it in. Can I use the normal big ones like Trust Wallet, SafePal, MetaMask, or do I need your own wallet, or is there an AVAX wallet?
Yeah, so because we're EVM compatible, you actually can use just about every big wallet. But like you said, we also have our
That's
own
great.
wallet called Avalanche Core Wallet. And um,
Mm-hmm.
originally that launched with kind of the marquee feature being NFT support, in which you can see your NFTs within the wallet. You can send and receive NFTs in the wallet, and they're kind of displayed in a great fashion. But now, in terms of the features that have been launched since beta launched, I'd say most of them revolve around subnets and ease and automation of going between subnets and making that user experience the best possible. Um, and so right now, there's actually some unique features in which um, teams can actually, well, not teams, but users can sign a transaction on one subnet or on a different network than their wallet is currently on. So if I'm a user and I'm on C chain in terms of my Avalanche Core wallet, and I need to sign something on Ethereum mainnet, I can do that without switching my network, which is actually like it's so nice as a user. I was actually at ETH Denver, I think 2 weeks ago. Well, it might be over that now, like 3 weeks ago now. I'm thinking about it, and I had my core wallet out, and I had to sign a transaction in terms of getting ticketing done on Ethereum mainnet, so I could go to ETH Denver, and it was super easy just to sign that transaction without having to switch networks. But also, I think the next feature that will probably be implemented is automatic subnet detection, as well as changing the network for the user to that subnet in terms of the wallet, and also being connected to either multiple subnets or subnet, uh, as well as C chain at the same time. And so users can do transactions on both without having to constantly switch between networks or blockchains. And so,
I like that.
yeah,
That's a pain. That's like the most scary part also for beginners, I know, to which chain or which wallet or how do I move my assets without losing them, and yeah, that's
yeah, I think the goal,
education is needed.
exactly. I think the goal is to kind of own the whole product suite in nature, in which we have a wallet, we have a native messaging layer, we have a platform where people can come into our ecosystem and easily discover new trusted projects or new games or an NFT collection that's dropping. So it's really interesting. I'm super excited for the next 6 months to a year. I think that's really when our full roadmap that drops a few years ago will be kind of coming to fruition and completed. And through that, then we'll have the tooling, the SDK needed for devs to come in, as well as users to come in and easily be able to use Avalanche, create new dApps within Avalanche, and just be successful here.
And all these features that you told us about now, that's only within your own wallet, right? It's not if I use some other wallet.
Yeah, so that's some of those features are
What's the name
exclusive.
of the wallet again?
Core
What's
Wallet
the
at Core.
core?
So actually, if I have the power to pin a tweet, 1 second, I can,
Yeah, I think you do.
yeah, 1 second. So let's see if I can pin. So here's the announcement in relation to when uh, their mobile app was actually launched on iOS. And so, yeah, there's the Twitter account for our own wallet that Avalanche has created.
Where did you pin it?
It's at the top of the Twitter space.
I can't see it. What, it's stupid Twitter space.
I can directly message you as well
Oh,
after the
thank
Twitter
you.
space.
Yes,
Yeah, don't
please
worry
do
about
that.
it.
That's good. Great. And yeah, wallet is well, maybe for some people who are in this a lot, it's like, ah, why don't you know that? That's so easy. But for new people, it's not easy at all to know how to navigate all these chains and everything. Of course, you want us to be always on AVAX and Avalanche chain, right? But everyone is everywhere, I guess. But let's have some new users on AVAX to try it out, and then you can tell me, guys, if you liked it or what's going on over there. And then maybe I will try it out even. I want to.
Now you need to, now that you're curious about it.
I need to. I see it now up here, actually. It's a movie. I can't start it while I'm hosting or while I'm talking in here, but maybe afterwards
Yeah,
I will look at it too.
exactly. And that's what
So,
maybe we want to touch upon, like our technical developments as well. Does that sound good?
sure, go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think in terms of like technical developments from the past 6 months to 8 months, it really started off with like us launching our own native Bitcoin bridge. And so there's been a lot of FUD recently about like custodial solutions in terms of Bitcoin and centralized exchanges and I don't know, the government coming after like US institutions and banks that are crypto friendly. And so I think now is a time more so than ever to really bring that Bitcoin on chain and ensure that you're your own bank at the end of the day and custodying your own assets. And so what we actually created was a bridge from the native Bitcoin blockchain to the Avalanche ecosystem in which Bitcoin users could easily bring their Bitcoin on chain throughout or without, sorry, a custodial partner such as the vendors or merchants within WBTC and could easily permissionlessly bring that Bitcoin on chain and use it within DeFi and get yield on their Bitcoin. And so that's done using Intel SGX technology along with wardens that index both the Bitcoin blockchain but also the Avalanche chain to bring that Bitcoin on chain. And so now BTC.B is what we call it here, has actually surpassed the Lightning Network in terms of total Bitcoin capacity, which is super
Oh,
exciting.
wow.
Yeah, so I think
That is huge. Yeah.
exactly. And I think our next goal is to hopefully spread BTC.B throughout other ecosystems that are not just Avalanche, but maybe even Ethereum mainnet, the L2s, etc., and really having a proliferation of that asset within all of crypto. In terms of other upgrades after that or new product features, we released through the Banff upgrade what's called elastic subnets, which just mean the subnets that are essentially launching that are elastic could permissionlessly allow for validation of their subnet, in which if a user met the validator requirements for that permissionless subnet, any validator could join their system, further decentralizing their subnet. And so then you have validators, well, sorry, then you have subnets that could scale to multiple hundreds or even thousands of validators eventually. And that's kind of our hope is that as more and more subnets kind of are created, the primary network, because validators must always validate the primary network, further decentralized, hopefully hundreds of thousands of validators eventually. And then finally, Avalanche Warp messaging was actually announced at the end of 2022. I think it was right around Christmas time. And that essentially is a native messaging solution that is built using the P chain along with BLS signatures to allow for validator to validator interactions, regardless of the VM that a subnet might be using. And so essentially, hopefully that becomes the gold standard of interoperability within all of crypto. And I think that'll be kind of live in terms of full feature set, hopefully by the end of this summer. And so that's super exciting. I think that kind of once that's live brings Avalanche to its fruition, and we'll see just so many more users in subnets being created just because a lot of people, I think that's where a lot of exploits have happened the past years in terms of interoperability. And I think hopefully having a very secure interoperability uniting the ecosystem will be important to our future. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
our head of engineering also has created um, a new software development kit called the Hyper SDK, in which people can create highly performant, customized virtual machines that are hopefully um, able to kind of scale for the next million users. Because in testing, the TPS for those hyper VMs has been between 40 to 50,000 TPS. So that's truly remarkable, and I believe some of the highest TPS in all of crypto in terms of blockchains at this point in time.
That's good. I read somewhere that it could be like infinite transactions per second.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the creation of subnets and how subnets essentially allow for our system to scale, I guess you could say it could be infinite in number of TPS eventually.
Hmm. And all these subnets, anyone can do their own subnets, and as you said, use AVAX or AVAX. I like AVAX better now. To yeah, to build their own customized whatever they need chain, right? For their customers or for yeah.
Yep,
There are
exactly.
lots of different. I mean, how many subnets are there so far?
Yeah, so I believe there are around 40 subnets that are live on mainnet, um,
Hmm.
as well as there are, I think, between 100 and 200 that are on testnet. And so we'll see. My goal personally is to have over 100 subnets live on mainnet by the end of 2023, and then just continue to double that every year in terms of number of subnets for a few years until we're kind of at mass production scale.
Nice. And because I think that it seems to me when I read about you and I hear you say stuff now and tell us about everything that's happening and what your goals are here, that uh, Avalanche is really going for the mass adoption right away. You don't really, you screw going only to game or gaming or only here or there. I mean, you don't, you go all over, as you said, mass adoption. Everyone get in now. The
Exactly.
train is leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, um, crypto users as well as like full-time ecosystem participants within crypto kind of forget how small the industry truly is at this point in time. So I think the whole industry, the
Yeah,
goal for the industry should be mass adoption eventually. And I think that kind of mirrors our vision as well as hopefully digitizing all of the world's assets.
I agree. And what you did, because I also read that you have onboarded Shopify, and you said TYB and Shopify. I'm not really familiar with TYB, but it seems big too. And it just launched, I think, yesterday. And where also people can who use this Shopify or whatever to build their shops, online shops, I think you build there, right? And then you can use AVAX probably, and they don't really even know that they're using a blockchain or crypto. And that is what's needed for mass adoption. Like, not everyone can know the tech and everything, it's not for everyone. To get everyone on board, you need to do it without them notice, probably, that it's a blockchain they're using.
You're
What do you
exactly
say about that,
correct.
Matt?
Yeah, I think account abstraction has been such a large topic the past 2 years, and I think it's kind of a keyword that's been thrown around too lightly. I think in terms of actually scaling to mass adoption, like you said, people don't need to know they're using a blockchain. They just need to
Yeah.
essentially have some sort of login, and that's linked to their own wallet and their own keys, and it's a safe, compliant solution. I mean, it's interesting. I constantly think about this, and my parents are like 65 years old or so, and if they can't use crypto and blockchain technology at this point in time, we're not kind of solving for the right issues. And so I think a lot about
Exactly.
that in
Yeah.
terms of like how to solve for mass adoption, whether that's allowing for like key management, that's decentralization, in which if someone were to forget their keys, they could recover them, or something of that nature, having, like you said, account abstraction and easy to use logins, and where
Mm-hmm.
you essentially have like gasless transactions, whether that's through like a precompile or infra solution such as like Economy or Gelato or whatnot. So um, yeah, you're exactly correct in
Yeah, I
saying
think
that.
right now or so far, people who comes into crypto, they're like tech nerds. They like the tech. They like the maybe to get some quick money up and down. It's very volatile at the moment, and you have to learn a lot to understand what's happening, what you're doing. I mean, a normal person who just likes to click some apps on the phone, they don't come into crypto. They think it's scam or it's illegal, or at least here in Sweden. So in order to reach mass adoption and to notify everyone out there about how useful it can be, you need to be like stuff that they don't even know they're using crypto. That's what I think. And I think we need more people in here who knows how to address that, or how to take on board those people who don't really know what crypto is.
Yeah, and I think about this a lot from like a gaming front. I was a gamer well before I ever knew
Yeah,
what crypto or blockchain was. And honestly, as a gamer, I just want to play a fun game. And especially as games have gotten more social, maybe hang out with my friends online as well and have a social component like talking through Discord or talking within the
yeah,
game.
exactly.
And so being able to essentially earn money or being able to totally own my in-game assets, I feel like is super important. And I saw that firsthand actually through games like Counter-Strike, in which there were super expensive in-game skins within that game. And it kind of, I feel like, was the at least idea for NFTs and what they enable in terms of ownership and digital ownership. So it's definitely
Yeah.
something that, like you said, as a gamer, first, I didn't necessarily care about blockchain, but I did care about owning my in-game assets and kind of monetizing the work that I put into various games.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for, or maybe that it is out there now, but to some blockchain or some projects that don't call their NFTs NFTs. It's such a boring word. What is, I mean, non-fungible tokens. It's had a bad reputation as well. So let's mint a new word for it, Matt. What can we call it instead?
Digital collectibles, I don't know. That's what
Maybe.
I feel like every piece of terminology we have within crypto, it just over complicates things, and there needs to be
It
more
does, yeah.
simplistic terms. And it's even the same within like real world assets. Like everyone everyone I talk to like strongly dislikes that word, but we don't have like a better piece of terminology for real world assets than real world assets at this point in time. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of what will happen before next cycle will almost be like rebranding, or essentially like allowing for a better combination of words, or kind of calling different pieces within crypto different names that are, I guess, more retail or average person friendly.
Yeah, we need more linguistics. What is it called? More people who sees words more than tech, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they're called in English.
Yeah,
Maybe there
exactly. I
are
mean,
no word yet for that either. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe more uh, creatives or PR people within crypto or something.
Yeah, creative people. Well, I mean, devs are probably very creative too with their text, but
Yeah,
yeah, for the words and stuff, language
exactly.
wise, yeah. Anyway, so where is Avalanche going next then? What's on the agenda? What's on your roadmap, as we say
Yeah,
in
I'd say the
crypto?
focus in the future will be on custom virtual machine creation, as well as allowing for creation of those virtual machines that are tailored to whatever the creator wants to be building. And that will allow for highly performant blockchain ecosystems. Whether that's an institutional finance team that wants to build a privacy walled garden environment with 100,000 TPS, or a creative individual that wants to build some sort of music platform um, that essentially allows for millions of music-based NFTs to be minted and controlled within their own network. But I think that's personally what I'm seeing in terms of our focus and roadmap is mainly on the proliferation of subnets within the next year and tooling around subnets. And I think we now have like a good variety of retail friendly products that we've created, and we'll see hopefully more and more devs that come into our ecosystem that are really kind of interested in figuring out how to build their own VM that's not just another generic EVM, or how to build a specialized Dapps in which it's an order book or something on chain that has matching done at the VM layer. And so that's personally what I'm excited about in terms of like technical roadmap the next 6 to 8 months.
Great. And something I forgot to mention now, and there is, when you open your web page now, the first thing you see is like Avalanche Multiverse, and that's not an metaverse thing, it's something else. Can you tell us more what that is?
It's funny you say it's not a metaverse thing because I think when we called it multiverse, it was right around when the metaverse hype was at its highest, and so I think a lot of
Okay.
people made that mistake, which is it's hilarious. But essentially, what multiverse is it's a program or an initiative to kind of help the greater adoption of subnets within our ecosystem. So teams can come in and apply for a multiverse grant or some sort of community-based incentives if they're like a DeFi app or an NFT team that wants to build their own subnet and get funding to build within subnets. And there's an application link probably on the website that you're currently looking at, and we kind of go through those applications and schedule calls or email teams back on if we want to proceed through the process and reviewing their application and kind of digging deeper into it. And so that program is totally centered around the adoption of subnets. We also have another program called Avalanche Rush, which is centered around liquidity mining within our DeFi ecosystem. Um, we also have a program for creatives called Open, and that is generally centered around, like I said, just creative people, artists, musicians, etc., that want to hopefully build here, get funding here, etc. So a variety of ways that people can get involved within the ecosystem. Um, I guess finally, I guess I'll mention Blizzard, which is kind of our own ecosystem. Um, Investment arm, and it does have outside LPs um, that I think Dragonfly, a few other notable VCs are those outside LPs. But the mandate for that is to really better the Avalanche ecosystem and help it grow. And so there are a variety of ways that people, both users and builders, can get involved here.
Great. And you also earlier, I think you mentioned the Ava Labs. Can
Yeah,
you
so
can you touch upon them?
yep.
Or
So
that?
Avalabs is the servicing firm behind the Avalanche blockchain. We're actually contracted by the Avalanche Foundation, which is a not-for-profit entity. So that's generally the relationship between the foundation, Avalabs, and Avalanche.
All right, cool. And I mean, you are everywhere now. You're I mean, this bear market, they always do things to projects, right? Some projects disappear and some take the time to grow or build. And I guess you are doing both. I mean, you're you're hiring lots of new people and building and many partnerships, new ones, and yeah, it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I
I
think
really
that's the
need to get
goal
some
is
AVAX.
yeah, I think that's the goal is no matter underlying market conditions or what's happening within the world, we're here, we're motivated, and we're really in it for the technology and growing to mass adoption, like you said. So I think that's been our focus throughout the bear. And like you said, it's kind of reflected our partnerships, our technical advancements and whatnot.
I mean, you also brought on the FIDE, the chess. What is it called again? The chess International
Foundation
Chess
behind,
Federation.
yep. Yep.
Yeah, they are going to use this, and they are doing their own subnets then, or
Yeah, so that's in the process of kind of the ideology phase about what they want that subnet to exactly consist of. But I think essentially what it will be is maybe NFTs that can change in nature regarding like whatever ELO the chess player currently has. So as ELOs go up and down,
yeah,
it's
the ELO.
a mutable NFT that reflects that.
Oh, they're going to have an NFT for that. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
that's at least my hope. I don't know how much I
Okay.
can talk about it. Yep.
Wow, interesting. Uh, I want to touch upon education because I think that's so important also to bring on the mass adoption. I mean, education, education, education. It's what we need. What is Avalanche doing to teach new people how it works or how crypto works? Or are
Yeah, so
you?
we have a variety of ways, whether that's our YouTube channel, our Medium blog, a Discord, a Telegram group. We kind of have it all, as well as I think we have like an official Avalanche Reddit. Um, but if a user wants a more, or a builder for that matter, either one, if they want a more personal connection, anyone can always feel free to reach out to our team directly, and hopefully you can get in contact with the correct like people to answer whatever questions the user or builder might have, and that's generally how we educate. We're actually, I feel like one of the most hands-on teams throughout like all of crypto. My calendar is always open and I'm always willing to send like calendar links over to people that just want to connect and learn more about our ecosystem and how they can get involved here, as well as the underlying technology.
Cool. I think we need to get mass adoption also. Maybe we need to do some real fun stuff out there that's not crypto related, and then, I mean, add crypto to it, or just add the name Avalanche or AVAX to it so
Yeah,
they find their way, or there need to be some new things coming. Not all everyone is doing, yeah, we have a little YouTube, we do this and this. We need some big things. What do you think, Matt? You seem like you're thinking a lot about
yeah,
those
no,
things.
I completely agree. And we've seen that reflected on ads in multiple subways around the world. We actually sponsor a Formula E team. We threw our own concert in which people, through their concert tickets, actually could mint NFTs if they were in attendance. And so, like you said, I think it's about really finding creative and fun ways that are not
Yeah,
just uh, solely blockchain focused to get people crypto curious and involved within kind of our ecosystem.
that's great. So you had concerts and stuff. That's cool. Very
Yeah, I
good.
believe the concert we had was with Ed Balloon, JPEG Mafia, and a few other large artists, and that was in Los Angeles. I think that was last month in February.
Nice. Any
Yep.
more big new things coming? next soon?
Yeah, so we actually have our own conference called Avalanche Summit, and that is coming the first week of May, and it's in Barcelona. And
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
yep, I
Oh, cool.
strongly advise everyone to attend. Tickets are still available, as well as speaker and sponsorship slots. And so, um, like I said, that's about a month from now, but all of the above are kind of filling up fast. So feel free to reach out if you have an interest in Avalanche Summit. And I'll find the Avalanche Summit tweet as well.
So what's
Just
happening then there? What can people expect if they go there?
Yeah, so I think people can expect kind of direct interactions with our team, projects building within our ecosystem, institutions, VCs we're working with, really just an Avalanche focus conference with a bunch of prominent figures throughout all of crypto, even like Web2 figures, prominent lawyers and policymakers, etc. And the reviews from the conference last year were just overwhelmingly positive. A lot of people actually said it was the best crypto conference they've ever been to. And I think that was because of how intimate it was, but also the venue being totally walkable in Barcelona, just being like a remarkable city. So I
Hmm.
think getting tickets to that event and attending that event, people can expect to generally just have a phenomenal time, hopefully.
And can you pay the tickets with AVAX then?
It's a great question. I actually don't know the answer to that at this point in time. I'll have to go look at buying a ticket myself and see if that's an option.
Yeah, you get lots of homeworks from me, Matt.
I know.
All right. So let's sum it up a little bit. What is the main feature or main thing that stands out, would you say, comparing to, because lots of these other chains that's come out after Ethereum, they compare themselves with Ethereum. We are faster, we are better, we are cheaper, we are everything. But what what stands out among the other chains that's not Ethereum with Avalanche, would you say?
Yeah, so is the question about maybe comparing ourselves to other chains outside of Ethereum?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Gotcha. No, you're completely fine. So, in terms of that comparison, I think most people generally think of us in the same vein as like Cosmos or Polkadot, in which we're scaling via highly specific application specific blockchains that are interconnected in nature. And I think at kind of our goal is to be a very low level environment in which most users use Avalanche consensus, if not all users, um, combining it with Avalanche warp messaging, both at a low level and allowing for any customized virtual machine, any asset bridge, any sort of interactions at both the messaging and consensus layer to take place and really be highly performant in nature. And that's what I think our adoption the past year and a half has been truly remarkable. That's when subnets really started to actually go live. I think the first subnet was actually exactly a year ago about today. And like I said, now 40 are live on mainnet, and that's kind of truly remarkable to me that we can have that many in such a short period of time, when other ecosystems have been around for almost double the amount of time we have been. So it's super exciting in nature.
Great, 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 great. So what is the best NFT over at AVAX? Maybe you can't say, but what's your favorite NFT?
So there are a large
The
variety. I
UPA.
guess I'll give, yeah, they're Upas, Furdy Fish, Small Joes. Let's see if I can find
30
some.
fish.
Yeah, let me see if I can find some Twitter accounts to link up here. Um, because yeah, that's what, like you said, well, like we talked about earlier, our NFT scene has really just been going off. So here are the Upas. There's that tweet. And then let
Okay.
me find
Oh.
Furdy Fish. Hopefully I can find their Twitter. 1 second.
Why can't they be
So,
more beautiful? I mean, they look terrible.
uh,
They look dead. The UPAs.
yeah, Yeah, that's what it's interesting. I'm not the biggest NFT guy myself, but um, it's interesting some of the art within the NFT world, especially the PFP world, and so that's what what do you enjoy with NFTs? Are you more like a fine art person, or
I'm not
what do
sure.
you
Yeah,
prefer?
yeah, I would like more, I don't know, but better art anyway. More details maybe.
Yeah, that's what it's
They're so
interesting. There's been
similar. They're not unique.
yeah, AI generated NFTs, I think a lot of people think will be the next big thing. But then it's interesting because then you don't like people don't want to overinflate the supply of those NFTs then. So
Yeah.
so
Why not
I know
make
we're
handwritten or hand custom
when are
etc.
you gonna become an NFT artist? Let's we'll promote you can launch your NFT collection on Avalanche. We'll promote it.
All right.
You can
Let's
make us
bring out
some
the Viking then.
exactly some pretty paintings and pictures and whatnot and can
I'm not
launch
a
on the
painter, but
marketplaces here. You're not a
yeah, I can
painter?
take
Uh-oh.
I can get pictures. I can do picture NFTs actually. I like that better.
There you go. Sounds like a
Yeah,
plan. Anyways, I
good.
know we're almost up on time for the hour that we allotted, but is there any other questions you had while I'm still here?
Oh, you have to go? You mean? Sorry, I didn't ask you that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have another commitment I gotta get to here
Okay,
in
that's
the
fine.
next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, my last question then. If you like pineapple on your pizza or not?
Of course, yeah, pineapple and ham. I know some people will say I'm crazy, but honestly, I'm not super picky about my pizza. But I do quite enjoy a nice pineapple and ham pizza. It's almost refreshing in nature. How about you?
Yeah, I can eat it.
You can eat
I I
it,
I like pineapple. I like sweet food.
yeah.
That's good. No, it's like a little fun thing we have here at Crypto Miners that I started with the pizza question because that is a thing in crypto, right? People are arguing a lot about this pineapple on pizza or not. Some people almost kill each other for it. So
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite that passionate about
no,
getting
no,
into deep arguments about what makes it good or bad. But
that's
personally,
good.
I enjoy it quite a bit. And I don't know when that started, actually. I think that started probably when I was like 18 or 19 years old. I had the first pineapple on
Hangover?
pizza.
No.
Well, hangover to not joking, but um, yeah, and now it's I don't know. I'll order it kind of randomly. I like to like stagger and have a wide variety of pizzas that I order. So whether that's just a simple pepperoni or a meat lovers or like a Hawaiian pizza, so
So you mean you
pineapple
always
or
order more than one
vegetable.
pizza?
Uh, well, sometimes, but also it's about I think like switching it up, not letting your life
Oh
get too
yeah, okay,
routine.
okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All right, enough with the pizza. That's just a little fun thing. But
when are we
but
having a pizza focused Twitter space?
yeah,
That
we
can be
can
its
have a
whole
pizza AMA one time. We bring
pizza
everyone.
and we can get like Papa John's, Domino's, Donato's on it.
We should have a get together and eat lots of pizza instead, maybe
There
at
you
some
go. You
point.
guys can
Yeah.
come to Avalanche Summit and we'll share a few slices of pizza
The
together.
pizza summit on
Pizza
Avalanche.
Summit.
Buy it
Exactly.
with AVAX. So you were not
Ex-
the guy who bought that pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin then, were you?
Oh, I surely hope not. That would be quite unfortunate. Yeah.
Quite unfortunate. Yeah, yeah. All right, I will let
Exactly.
you, I know you have to go, but I will let you have a closing statement and tell us a little bit why should we go AVAX or AVAX or Avalanche, Matt?
Yeah, I guess closing statement from my side is I guess everyone continue to stay positive that's still in this space. I feel like most people have, if you've made it this long, you've gone through the worst part of the bear, hopefully. And as greater underlying market conditions in terms of like the macro environment change, I think crypto markets as well as kind of all liquidity within markets will continually get better. And I think it's about finding those teams that have continually built throughout the bear, have tried to better themselves, who have tried to grow their team and really create the best experience possible, both for users and builders. And I think that's something that we've truly encompassed throughout the past year to a year and a half. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I had a lot of fun today.
Great, me too. Thank you so much for coming, Matt. And maybe bring some more next time and we can have a pizza party at the end.
Exactly. No, that's what, unfortunately, our team is a little busy, but I'll recruit some people. I'll bribe them. I'll send them individual pizzas or something so they can come to the next Twitter
That's
space.
perfect. Perfect. Yeah, everyone, thank you for coming and make sure to follow Matt and yeah, send him all your questions if you have any. Maybe he will answer them. I can't respond to that, but probably he will or send them
Yeah,
on to someone
I
else.
definitely will, and we can always schedule a call together. But yeah, thanks for having me here, and have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, Matt. And good luck in Barcelona.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Great. Bye bye. Bye everyone. See you maybe tomorrow. I hope so. Over and out from Mary. Good whatever, wherever you are, guys, as usual. Bye for now.